So I thought I'd show you some of the irrigation supplies that I use. Like I said, I don't care to grow a garden unless I can irrigate it. Even though we live in the mid-Atlantic and we get a fair amount of rainfall, it seems like it always cuts off when we really need it. And this is a minimal setup. It may look like a lot, but it's actually minimal. I'll start over here, actually here in the middle. This is the poly header pipe. This is the main manifold, if you will, that your drip tape lines to each of your rows of vegetables would hook to. So this is connected directly to your garden hose through a pressure regulator and filter. So this one's a little bigger one that I used for a 1/4 acre garden, and this is going to take your pressure from your well or whatever your water source is and neck it down to 10 psi. If you try to run this system straight off of your well or your water source, unless it's something like a gravity feed, it's going to blow the ends right out of your lines, your drip line here. This is your drip tape. You lay this with the blue side up. So if you look close enough, there are emitters. In this case, every 4 inches. For a garden, you have the choice. You can pick it with every 8 inches, every 12 inches. This particular tape, I just got the emitters every 4 inches. And you'll have to look at the specs. If I remember right, it's about 0.2 gallons per hour. So 1/5 of a gallon per hour, depending on the tape. Some of them are 1/4 per emitter per hour. So there again, it's in the specifications. This is just a timer that you turn your water on. You hook this up between your water supply and your hose to your irrigation system, and you can set the clock when you want it to start, the duration, and then when you want it to cut off. And this is kind of nice. It has failed on me only once, and so I'm a little leery. I still like to keep an eye on it. I like to be home when it's running, but it's kind of nice if you want your irrigation to run an hour or 2 hours, and if you want it to run at 7 a.m. before you go to work, 6 a.m. It's nice to, take care of itself. So on your fittings for your drip tape here, this is nothing more than an end plug. So it's got a little loop here where you could anchor it if you wanted to. This is to go in the end of your tape or the end of a line. I just fold the tape over and put a sleeve over it just to save from having to buy these. This is what's called a goof plug, and that's if you were to punch a hole in your header pipe and you didn't mean to, you can plug it with these. Okay, this is a splice. So if you ran out of header pipe and you wanted to connect more, you've got a splice here. I'm sorry, drip tape. If you wanted to connect drip tape to drip tape, this is the splice that you would use. I've had rodents chew a hole in the tape, have to go in there and cut it and splice it with one of these fittings. That was with some no-till cantaloupes that I grew one year. This is just your standard connection to your poly manifold pipe here to start a drip line. So this would be at the beginning of your drip tape, coming right off of the water pipe here. This is the device that you would use. This end piece is going to punch holes in the header pipe. The razor blade will cut your finger to the bone. If you're not careful, it's made to cut your header pipe. So it's a tool that's sent with these kits. This is a fertigation. Easy Flow brand feeder. You can put water soluble fertilizer in here, and basically you mix how much you want. The directions are made available to you, and of course the fertilizer is dyed, and once it all runs out, the water will be clear in here. The way that works is extremely simple. You just hook this up to your water source, direction of flow. Put your hose on the end there, go into your irrigation system, and then it just siphons the fertilizer up out of the jug with these lines here. Okay, and supposedly you can set a control as to how much you want it to feed, or how fast you want it to feed. I put it full blast. It takes a while to run through. So handy mechanism to fertigate if you go that route with a drip system like this. I got these from, all of this equipment I get from Berry Hill Drip, and they are located at Buffalo Junction, Virginia, on 58. And the reason I give them a shout out, when I worked for Cooperative Extension, they donated some supplies for a community garden, and so that was very nice of them. They are excellent. If you only need parts and pieces to a system, as long as at least it used to be, as of the last few weeks, as long as it's at least a $20 order, they will ship it to your doorstep, and I love that. Good quality stuff, and all kinds of options to pick from. Anyway, that's irrigation.